Hello and welcome. I'm Nafis Alam. Today I'll be talking about one of the important issue that the students face regarding their academic writing. As we work with many students preparing their research proposal, this issue comes again and again. Despite having promising idea, students face rejection or some of them don't even receive a reply from their supervisors. The main reason, the overuse of the descriptive writing than the critical writing. In fact, too much description can kill the credibility of a research proposal. In the past, we have seen many students using the descriptive writing more than the critical one, and ultimately, even after having a promising idea, their ideas got rejected. So, in this video, I'll try to break down the differences between a descriptive writing and a critical writing in simple terms, and we'll put some examples for your understanding. What's the difference? Let's get straight into it. Critical writing is one of the most important skills that you need to master before starting your research career. Is it hard? Well, we'll come back to that later. When it comes to academic writing, there are mainly two types of writing: the descriptive and the critical writing. And yes, we can also call the critical writing as the analytical writing. The easiest way to understand the critical writing is to compare it with the descriptive writing. Descriptive writing answers to the questions such as what, when, where, and who. In other words, it describes a situation, a person, or an event. It doesn't go any deeper, nor explore why it matters and what are the consequences. Let me give you an example of descriptive writing. In 2025, President Trump announced an extension of tariffs on imports from the United Kingdom. It tells us what happened, when, and who was involved. It's factual, but it doesn't tell us why it matters. Now let's look at an analytical version of the same event. Trump's tariff extension on the UK has significant economic and political implications. Exporters, especially in sectors like steel, automobile, and consumer goods, will see rising costs when selling to the US market. This threatens profit margins and could lead to job losses in affected industries. Higher costs may also be passed to the American consumers, contributing to inflationary pressures in the US. See the difference? The descriptive writing reports the event, whereas the analytical writing explores the implications of that event. It answers the question, so what? Now, here's a key point for the students writing a proposal. In critical writing, you must always link back to the research objectives of your proposal. Ask yourself, what does this point mean in relation to my research aims? Does it support or challenge my research questions? This connection from meaning to information is called as golden thread in academic writing. Let's take another example.
He looks so determined in this photo. Aye, ah.
He will make us proud.
I have always dreamed of studying in Germany. The euro is so high. How will we manage his fees?
I don't know. We saved for so long.
Ariful's heart sinks. His dream didn't change, but the economy did.
Suppose you are trying to explain how the local environment impacts the demand for higher education abroad. You would not only mention the devaluation of the local currency, but also explain what that means. When the local currency weakens against the euro, the tuition fees, living cost, and accommodation abroad all become more expensive in real terms. So if the tuition fee is 10,000 euro a year and the currency drops by 20%, it now costs 20% more, even though the euro amount hasn't changed. That's a real burden for families and can affect enrollment trends. That's critical writing. Now let's summarize the differences between the descriptive writing and the analytical writing. Here's a quick comparison. Descriptive writing states what happened, analytical writing explains why it happened or why it matters, especially in the context of your research. You can take a screenshot of this table where you can always refer it back while you're writing your research proposal. So, the big question, should you avoid descriptive writing altogether? Of course not. Some descriptive writing is important. You need to set the scene before you can analyze it. But there is a rule of thumb. For every what, there should be a so what. If you state a fact or idea, ask yourself, what does this mean for my research? Not every sentence needs deep analysis. Some points are self explanatory. But overall, you want to minimize description and maximize analysis. That's how you will improve the credibility and prepare a successful research proposal. Thanks for watching. I hope this video gave you a brief understanding the differences between the critical and descriptive writing.